What's up everyone, and welcome to part 2 of my complete Blu-ray collection. In the last episode of this, we went through A through D. In this video, we're going to go through E through I, and then I believe we're going to end up having 4 parts to my entire collection. So that's the plan for now. Anyways, if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe, and let's get right into the collection. Alright, so I'm going to move a little quicker in this episode because last video ended up being quite long. So first we have Edward Scissorhands, kind of a Tim Burton classic. Then we have the Robert Rodriguez 2-pack of El Mariachi and Desperado. I like both these movies. Robert Rodriguez has like a fun action style that he does, and they're really enjoyable. Then we have Elektra. I have not seen this yet. I bought it because I want to watch through some of the older Marvel movies, and I have not watched it yet. Then we have The Elephant Man on Criterion. I just watched this for the first time recently and it was really, really good. It was a very dark movie, but a very good movie and very well made. So yeah, that's nice to own on Criterion as well. Then we have a Christmas classic in Elf. This would probably be like top 5 Christmas movies for me. I really enjoy it. I don't enjoy it quite as much as most people do. I do have other Christmas movies I like more. But anyways, then we have Enemy at the Gates. I do enjoy this film for what it is. I've only seen it once, but like I said in last collection, I really like World War II movies, and this is enjoyable. There's a lot of good scenes in here. It's not perfect, but it is a good film. Then we have E.T. This is the 4K with like a booklet and everything, a very nice set of E.T. It's a classic. It's not something I grew up with. I watched it like once as a kid, so I don't have a lot of nostalgia for it, but it's a classic Spielberg, very enjoyable. Then we have Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. I watched this for the first time like last week, and I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a really well-made movie, with very thought out, with this kind of romance between these two characters. Though I do think I'll be rewarded on a rewatch with more details and stuff like that. I did feel like I was missing things, but it was a pretty good movie. Then we have Everest. This is a very like kind of an enjoyable like survival Mount Everest movie. It's not great, but it's enjoyable. Then we have Excalibur, a very underrated movie. It's about King Arthur. It's a very large-scale King Arthur movie. It covers a lot of ground, but if you're into King Arthur stuff, I think this movie is really good. Then we have the Expendables 1, 2, and 3 movie collection. I love the first Expendables movie. I love that Stallone directed it. I've seen Expendables 2. I really did not like it, and I have not watched Expendables 3 yet. But they're all, I enjoy them for what they are as action movies. Then we're getting into the Fs. We have Face Off. This is a classic action movie that I really had a good time with. They switch faces. Very enjoyable stuff from the 90s, directed by John Woo. Then we have Fantastic Mr. Fox. I haven't seen a ton of the Wes Anderson movies. This is one of the ones I have seen. I'm very excited to check out more of his movies as we go on, but I did enjoy this film. This is probably my favorite of the 2 I've seen, and we'll get to the other one I've seen later in this episode. But yeah, I like Fantastic Mr. Fox. I love its style. I love the animation and everything like that. Then we have Four Stick. This movie's terrible. Obviously, everybody knows that. It's just an absolute disaster of a film, and honestly, I don't even know why I own it. I bought it because I wanted to see it, because I didn't know it was that bad. Then I watched it. I was like, oh my god. One of the worst comic book movies, especially coming from the 2010s. And that's going to do it for the first pile. Alright, getting into the second pile, we're going to have the Fast and Furious 8 movie collection. I went over these movies to death when build up to F9 because I wanted to review them all. They're fun. They're not great, but they are very enjoyable. Then we have Hobbs and Shaw, which is pretty much in line with my opinion on the other movies. Not great, but they're very enjoyable movies. Then a very, very good movie, we have Fight Club, a nice slipcover. Obviously, David Fincher classic, one of the best movies ever made. I absolutely love this movie. Yeah, anyways, that's Fight Club. Then we have the Fly collection. I haven't seen any of these yet. I did cover this in my Blu Ray haul a month ago or so. I'm yet to watch any of these, but it's a very cool set to own from Scream Factory. Then we have Following, a movie by Christopher Nolan. This is his first movie from '99 on Criterion. I do enjoy this movie. It's very early Christopher Nolan, a very small budget, but it is very enjoyable for what it is. Then we have Four Christmases, another Christmas movie. I do own a lot of Christmas movies because I love watching Christmas movies in December. Four Christmases, I thought it was alright. the two main characters are enjoyable, and there's enough funny stuff in here. Like Jon Favreau's character in here is pretty funny, but it's not, it's definitely not like a Christmas classic or anything, but it's definitely enjoyable. Then we have Forrest Gump, obviously a classic. Then we have the Friday the 13th 8-movie collection. I'm not crazy about Friday the 13th. It's definitely, of the big three slasher franchises, it's definitely my least favorite of the three of them. I do enjoy them, especially like Part 4 and Part 3 I did enjoy particularly. The first 4 are pretty good. Then they get pretty ridiculous towards the end. But anyways, that's the Friday the 13th movies. Then we have From Dusk Till Dawn. I'm yet to watch this Blu Ray of it, but Robert Rodriguez, once again, written by Tarantino, very good movie that I've seen a few years ago. Then we have Gangs of New York, another movie that I haven't seen recently, a Scorsese film. I wasn't crazy about this movie like I am about some of the other Scorsese films. Very good performances from Daniel Day-Lewis and Leonardo DiCaprio, but it was a little boring to me, to be honest with you. But it is a good movie nonetheless, a very intriguing time period that Scorsese covers. Then we have Get Out. I've only seen this movie once, and I really liked it. Very original film from Jordan Peele that feels very original, and it definitely is worthy of the hype that it got. And a very good movie. I haven't seen Us yet, and I need to check out Us at some point. And he also, does he have another? I don't know. Anyways, then we got Gettysburg. I've heard this movie has issues in terms of historical issues. I haven't seen it in a while. It's very long. It's 271 minutes. It's just a very drawn-out version of the Battle of Gettysburg. Once again, I heard it does have some historical issues, but I thought it was alright. There's a lot of the battle scenes in this movie are really good. They look very realistic, but I don't know how you stretch the Battle of Gettysburg to 271 minutes. Anyways, then we have the Ghostbusters 1 and 2 collection. This is like the Digibook version. You get a lot of cool stuff in here. I'm not crazy about Ghostbusters. I like the first one, and then I really didn't care for the second one. I'm definitely not like, in love with the Ghostbusters franchise, but I do enjoy the first one a lot. It's a very funny movie. Alright, heading into the third stack today, we have G.I. Joe Rise of the Cobra. I think this movie is really underrated. I grew up with it. I remember, like, right after it came out, I got it on DVD for my birthday. And I have a lot of nostalgia for this movie, but I watched it recently, and I just think it's a great action movie with lots of good action scenes. Definitely goofy. There's a lot of dumb things in here. Definitely, if you're a huge fan of the original G.I. Joes, you're not going to like it. But as a kid, I love this movie, and the action figures that this movie made were awesome as a kid when I used to play with those. I really enjoy that movie. Then we have Glass. Obviously, I just did a video on the Shyamalan movies. I think this movie's not as bad as people make it out to be. There's a lot of good elements here. It's really ruined by the ending. Then we have the Godfather Part 3, Godfather Trilogy. Obviously, the first two Godfathers are classics. I love both of them. I think I prefer the first one. And I have not seen Part 3 yet. I do need to check that out at some point. Then we have our Godzilla movies. We have Godzilla from 2014. I like this movie. This is my favorite of the MonsterVerse movies. Then Sea of Monsters, which going back on it, it probably would be my least favorite of the four. I just very clunky. There's not much plot to it. Just like monster nonsense, and I'm not really a fan of that. Then we have Good Burger. This came out on Blu Ray recently, and I checked it out recently. It's always been a movie I've known about, but I've never watched, from Nickelodeon. And this movie is hilarious. There's so many funny moments, especially with I can't remember his name, the main kid in the movie. It's a very enjoyable movie for sure. Then we have Good Will Hunting, a classic that I've enjoyed more and more with every rewatch of it. It's just, it's an excellent movie, written by Ben Affleck and Matt Damon, which is really cool, and probably my favorite Robin Williams performance. Then we have The Goonies. This is a very nice slipcover for Goonies. I've seen this once, and I really enjoyed it as a kind of 80s coming-of-age movie. It's one of my favorite 80s coming-of-age films. It's a very enjoyable film. I love the children kind of going on this adventure. It's a very, comforting movie, I guess I would say. Then you have Gran Torino, directed by Clint Eastwood. This movie I thought was really good. I've only seen it once, and once again, this also has those, Walmart slipcovers. I thought this movie was pretty good. Then we have The Great Gatsby. I bought this a while ago after I had to read the book for school, because I wanted to see the movie with Leonardo DiCaprio. And honestly, I was disappointed by this movie. I didn't think there was much to it. I thought it was pretty just bland, unfortunately. So I wasn't crazy about it. Definitely there's a lot of nice direction to it, and it's very stylized. I just didn't think it was that good. Then we have the Gremlins 4K Steelbook. I bought this because it was really cheap. It was like $10 for the 4K Steelbook. I like Gremlins a lot. It's I've seen it once, another 80s classic I've only seen once. It was very enjoyable, and it's just like, a lot of fun. Then we have Grumpy Old Men and Grumpier Old Men. Funny story about this, my grandma bought it, and she doesn't have a Blu Ray player, and she didn't realize that this was Blu Ray, so she gave them to me. I watched the first one, and it's just not for me. I don't want to crap on the films, but the humor is just not for me at all. Then we have Hacksaw Ridge. I've only seen this movie once. It's from 2015, or maybe 2016, one of those years. I really enjoyed it when I watched it for the first time. It's high on my list of movies I need to rewatch because it was a really good World War II movie. But I do need to rewatch it. All right, continuing on with our fourth pile, we have the Halloween movies. So we have Halloween, the original from 1978. This is on the 4K Steelbook that Best Buy put out. Very nice Steelbook. Obviously, this is possibly my favorite horror movie of all time. I go between this and Scream with what my favorite horror movie is. I really love this movie. I love the vibes it gives off. It's a very Halloween. It feels very fall. Then we have the Scream Factory edition of Halloween 2. A really good sequel. It's almost like a part 2 of the original, which I really like. The Scream Factory edition is also really nice. Then we have Halloween 3 Season of the Witch, which I have not seen all the Halloween movies, but right now this is my second favorite. I really loved what it did in not having Michael Myers, but having this really creepy kid concept, mask concept, where the mask is like killing kids. And that scene where the mask is on the kid's head and it kills him is absolutely like super dark, but very brilliant scene. I really like that movie. Then we have Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers. I like this movie. I probably liked it more than Halloween 2, probably being my third favorite of the ones I've seen. I've only seen the first 4 and a few other random ones. I am slowly getting through them. I did buy some more that I'm going to watch eventually. But anyways, Halloween 4 I did enjoy. I thought it was better than Halloween 2. Then we have Hamburger Hill. This is a very underrated Vietnam War movie. It came out at the wrong time, like right after the year after Platoon came out. So that's very unfortunate for this movie. Obviously, Platoon was the craze and won Best Picture. But I thought this movie was better than Platoon by quite a bit. I really like war movies, and this movie just has such great characterization of the main characters. It has a very young Don Cheadle in this movie. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was an excellent Vietnam War movie. Going into it, I had no expectations, and it just blew me away. Then we have Hangover Part 3. This is the only Hangover movie I own on Blu Ray. I own the other 2 on DVD. Very enjoyable movie for me. I didn't think it's as bad as some people make it out to be. I thought it was way better than Hangover Part 2, so I did enjoy that aspect of it. Definitely not as good as the original. Then we have The Happening, M. Night Shyamalan movie from 2008 that's just not good, but very enjoyable as a comedy and just how ridiculous and stupid it is. And it doesn't overstay its welcome, so it's short, so that makes it pretty watchable. Then we have the Harry Potter movies. We have Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. This is a very old Blu-ray. This may have been my first Blu-ray. It came in like a 2-pack with the video game. Lego Harry Potter years 1 through 4. It came in a 2-pack. So this may have been my first Blu-ray. Then we have the 8-movie collection. I love these movies. It's one of my favorite movie franchises of all time. They're very comforting. The first 3 movies are very nostalgic for me. I watched them to death as a kid. And then the last 5 are all good. My least favorite's probably Goblet of Fire or Order of the Phoenix. Between those 2, the Deathly Hallows 2 parts are really good and how they finished off the franchise. But I really love these movies. Then we have Hateful Eight. Tarantino film I've only seen once. It has nice artwork and stuff. I've only seen it once. I do need to rewatch it because it was, I did enjoy it the first time, but it felt too long. But it's Tarantino, so it's usually good. Then we have Hatfield and Mccoys. This is a mini series. It's I guess it's a movie. It's 290 minutes. It's really long. It's split into 3 parts. I really enjoyed this. It's been a few years since I've seen it. I've seen it 3 or 4 times. But I really enjoyed it. It has a lot of good cast behind it. Bill Paxton and Kevin Costner playing the McCoys and the Hatfields. I really enjoyed this for what it was in this kind of post-Civil War family feud that we get, and just how violent and dark it gets. It's very good stuff, and not anyone talks about it. I think it's really good. All right, then we have Hell or High Water on 4K. Have not watched the 4K yet, but I watched this movie a few years ago on Netflix, and I really liked it. So I did buy the 4K. Just haven't had a chance to watch it yet. Then we have The Hobbit. This is An Unexpected Journey, the first one. And then we also have The Hobbit, Battle of the Five Armies. I own Desolation of Smaug on DVD, so I own these, and I own these two on Blu-ray. The Blu-rays are really nice. There's like 3 discs in each of these. But, you know, I love Lord of the Rings. I'll talk about that more when we get to the L's, but these movies, they're good enough. I enjoy being in Middle-earth, and I enjoy the characters. Bilbo Baggins is really good, but obviously they really struggle to split, you know, the shortest of the Lord of the Rings books and The Hobbit into 3 movies. Really stupid how they did that. Then we have Hocus Pocus. This movie is a movie that I got into super late in my life. It's not a movie I grew up with, but it is so much fun to watch on Halloween. It's a movie I will watch every year on Halloween. It's just, it gives off these very strong Halloween vibes. It's just super enjoyable. Definitely one of my favorite Disney movies in Hocus Pocus. And I'm actually excited for the sequel that's coming out. And then we have some of my favorite Christmas movies. We have Home Alone, possibly my favorite Christmas movie. I would have to think about that between this and Christmas Vacation, but I absolutely love Home Alone. And then Home Alone 2, very good sequel. For a while I did like Home Alone 2 more, but now I tend to go with Home Alone, one I like more. Watch both of these every single year for Christmas, so I love these movies. All right, heading into the last pile of the day, we're going to go with How the Grinch Stole Christmas. This is the animated edition. The 22 or 20-minute animated version is really good of the it's pretty much a video version of the book, the Dr. Seuss book. But there's also like other stuff on here. There's the Grinch and the Cat in the Hat and Halloween and Grinch Night, which really surprised me. I thought, I don't know. So, but it's nice. The slipcovers on this really nice. I haven't watched the other two. Then we have How the Grinch Stole Christmas, the live-action Ron Howard version with Jim Carrey. I love this movie. This is one of my favorite Christmas movies. It pulls off the Grinch, I think, very well, and it makes it creepy, but it also is just a lot of fun. And this is, once again, an every year watch for me. Very enjoyable. There's a lot of emotion in here. Ron Howard packs that in this movie. And I think this movie works. A lot of people hate it, but I love this movie. I've watched it ever since I was a kid. It's just such a good movie, in my opinion. Then we have the How to Train Your Dragon trilogy. I got into these super late. I am a DreamWorks fan, but these movies, it took me a while to get into because I just never got around to watching them. I watched the first one. The first one's good. The second one's even better. I have not watched the third one yet, so I definitely am excited to check that out. Then we have a weird movie in Hunter Killer with Gerard Butler and Gary Oldman. Just a decent military action movie, modern military action movie. That I thought, like I said, it was decent. Nothing wrong with it, just very mediocre. It's one of those like cheap Walmart Blu-rays you get. Then we have Immortals, another weird movie. I was not crazy about this movie. I was excited going into it. Henry Cavill, playing a Greek or a Spartan sounds really awesome, like a 300 clone. This is just very bland. There's a lot of cool action scenes, but for the most part, I found it pretty bland. Then we have Inception on Blu-ray. I love Christopher Nolan. He's my favorite director, but this is probably one of my least favorite Nolan films. And don't get me wrong, this is a great film, like a 4.5, 5-star movie. It's just like, I love all of his movies so much that this would go towards the bottom of my list. I do need to rewatch. I have only seen it once. I'm hoping I will like it more on the second watch, but that's Inception. Very good stuff. Then we have Inglourious Bastards, maybe my second favorite Tarantino movie. Although I would have to think about it. Between this, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and Django Unchained for my second favorite. But I love what he did here with the, changing history and all that. And it's just a very good movie with lots of funny scenes and some very serious scenes, especially in the opening with Christoph Waltz. Then we have Interstellar. This is my second favorite Christopher Nolan movie. I absolutely love it. This movie blew me away. It's very long, but I think the runtime is very warranted in this movie. The 4K looks incredible as well. So I absolutely love Interstellar. Then we have a very weird movie in The Invasion. I bought this for like $5 at a grocery store because I saw it. I was like, Daniel Craig, Nicole Kidman horror movie. Why not? It's like Invasion of the Body Snatchers with like zombies or something. I don't know. It was a weird movie. I didn't really enjoy it, but cool to own, I guess. Then we have Isle of the Dogs, the only other Wes Anderson movie I've seen. I like this movie a lot. It had a lot of the style was really fun. I like the drummer guys and the dogs, and I love Wes Anderson's humor. I really did have a good time with this movie. It was really just an enjoyable experience with the Isle of Dogs. So that's that. And then we have It. from 2017. The only one I own on Blu Ray. I have not seen It Chapter 2 yet, but I really enjoyed what they did with this movie and kind of revitalizing this the Stephen King book and really making it just very it feels very like 70s and 60s. They did such a good job with this movie. I love almost everything about it. I'm not crazy about Pennywise in this movie. I don't think he's better than Tim Curry in the original, but I do enjoy this movie quite a bit. Then the last movie for the day is going to be It's a Wonderful Life. This is a Christmas movie that I just got into last year. I watched it for the first time, and it was amazing. It's definitely one of the best, possibly the best quality Christmas movie out there. And it looks great on 4K, and it's just an amazing film. Very emotional, and it's not exactly a Christmas movie because a lot of the movie doesn't take place in the holidays and has nothing to do with Christmas, but the final act does, and it's a very hard-hitting final act that's will absolutely put a smile on your face. So absolutely a must-watch every year for me going forward. Anyways, that's going to do it for the Blu-ray collection for today. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, don't forget to like and subscribe. I really appreciate it. And stay tuned for part 3. That'll be coming out soon, and I believe we're going to end up doing this in 4 parts. Anyways, as always, thank you so much for watching if you stuck around to the end of the video, and have a great day.